Good morning to one and all. Hi friends and respected teachers. Today I will be discussing about web scraping bot using Selenium with Python. I am from CSC Data Science first year B section. Next slide. Introduction. Machine learning is fueling today technologies marvels such as driverless cars, space flight, image and speech recognition. However, one data science professional would need a large volume of data to build robust and reliable machine learning model for such business problems. Data mining or gathering data is very primitive step in the data science life cycle. As per business requirements, one may have to gather data from sources like SAP servers, logs, database, APIs, repositories, or web. Tools for web scraping like Selenium can scrape a large volume of data such as text, image in a relatively short time. Next slide. These are the contents we are discussing about. First of all, what is web scraping? Why web scraping is useful? What is Selenium? Setup and tools, implementation of image, web scraping using Selenium Python, headless composer, putting it all together, and notes. These are the topics we are discussing. First of all, what is web scraping? Web scraping, also called as crawling or spidering, is the technique to gather data automatically from an online source, usually from a website. While web scraping is an easy way to get a large volume of data in a relatively short time frame, it adds stress to the server where the source is hosted. This is also one of the main reasons why many websites don't allow web scraping all on their website. However, as long as it does not disrupt the primary function of the online source, it is fairly acceptable. Why web scraping? There's a large volume of data lying on the web that people can utilize to serve the business needs. So one needs same tool or technique to gather this information from the web. And that's where the concept of web scraping comes into play. How web scraping is useful? Web scraping can help us extract an enormous amount of data about customers, products, people, stock markets, etc. One can utilize the data collected from the websites such as e-commerce portal, job portals, social media channels to understand the customer buying partners, employee attrition behavior, and customer sentiments, and the list goes on. Most popular libraries or frameworks that are used in Python for web scraping are Beautiful Soup, Scrappy, and Selenium. In this article, we all talking about web scraping using Selenium in Python. And the cherry on the top, we will see how can we gather images from the web that you can use to build train data for deep learning projects. Next slide. What is Selenium? First of all, we need to know what is Selenium. Selenium is an open source web-based automation tool. Selenium primarily used for testing in the industry, but it can also be used for web scraping. We will use the Chrome browser, but you can try on any browser. It's almost the same. Let us see how to use Selenium for web scraping. These slide is an these slides tells that how to set up and install the Selenium from browser. Next slide. Implementation of image web scraping using Selenium. Python. Step 1 from Python. In step 1, import libraries. This is the code where we do web scraping using Python. First of all, import OS, import Selenium. From Selenium, import WebDriver, import time. From PIL, import image. import IO, import request from WebDriver Manager, Chrome import, Chrome Driver Manager. From Selenium, common expectations import, elements click interrupted exception. Step 2. We need to install the drivers. This is the code to install drivers. Step 3. Specify search URL. Sorry. I use the specific URL so you don't get in trouble for using licensed or images with copyrights. Otherwise, you can use http://google.com also as search URL. Then we are searching for cars. In our search URL, paste the link into driver. Get your link here function and run the cell. This will open new browser window for that link. We are doing web scraping for this image in Google. Take it as an example. Step 4. Scroll to the end of the page. This is the code, and this line of code will help us to reach the end of the image, and then we are giving sleep time of 5 seconds so we don't run in a problem where we are trying to read elements from the page which is not yet loaded. Step 5. Locate the image to be scrapped from the image. This is the image to be scrapped from the page. Next slide. Extract the corresponding link of each image. As we can the image are shown in the page or still the thumbnails not in the original image. So to download each image, we need to click each thumbnail and extract relevant information corresponding to that image. That is the code to click each thumbnail and extract relevant information from corresponding to that image. So in the upper snippet of the code, we are performing the following tasks. The tasks are iterate through each thumbnail and then click it. Make your browser sleep for 2 seconds. Find the unique HTML tag corresponding to that image to locate in on page. We still get more than one result for a particular image, but all we are interested in the link for that image to download. So we iterate through each result for that image and extract src attribute of it, and then see whether https is present in the src or not, since typically web link starts with https. Next slide. Step 7. Download and save each image in the destination. The code to be followed. Now, finally, you have extracted the image from your project. Note, there is a note to be followed here. Once you have written proper code, then the browser is not important. You can collect data without browser, which is called headless browser window. Hence, replace the following code with previous one. Headless Chrome browser. The code to be implemented for headless Chrome browser is first, for our easy purpose, in the comments hashtag headless Chrome browser. from Selenium import WebDrivers. Ops is equals to WebDriver dot Chrome options. Ops dot headless is equals to true. Driver is equals to WebDriver Chrome in within the parenthesis Chrome driver manager within the parenthesis dot install within the parenthesis close the bracket. In this case, the browser will not run in the background, which is very helpful while deploying a solution in production. Let's put all this code in a function to make it more organizable and implement the same idea to download 100 images for each category. Example, like we will get lots and lots of examples in this. For this web scraping, uh, I will take cars and horses. That is my specified interest, so we will use examples as cars and horses. And this time we would write our code using the ideas of headless Chrome. Putting it all together, we are merging these all codes. Simply we say we are merging these codes. Step 1, import all required libraries. Import OS. This is the code to be followed. Import Selenium. From Selenium, import WebDrivers. Import time. From PIL, import image. Import IO. Import request. From WebDriver manager dot Chrome, import Chrome driver manager. OS dot CHDIR within the parenthesis single quote C and quotes quarantine blog web scraping close the parenthesis. This is the code. Step 2, install Chrome drivers. This is the code that we have to be followed. Install drivers. Ops is equals to WebDriver dot Chrome options within the parenthesis. Ops headless is equals to true. Driver is equals to WebDriver Chrome within the parenthesis Chrome driver manager install options is equals to ops. In this step, we are installing a Chrome driver and using headless browser for web scraping. Step 3, as same before we are talking. Step 3 is same. Specify search URL. Step 4, write a function to take the cursor to the end of the page. Define scroll to end driver. Driver execute script within the parenthesis double quotes windows dot scroll to. In that open bracket 0 comma document dot, comma body comma scroll height close the parenthesis. Time sleep between interactions. This snippet of code will scroll down the page. Write a function to get URL of the image. This function would return a list of URLs from each category. Actually, this lengthy of the code will write a function to get URL of each image. The code is so long, but is so useful for useful using used for web scraping using Selenium and Python. So this is the code that we are opting to write a function to get URL of the image. Step 6. Write a function to download each image. This is the code to be followed, and this snippet of code will download the image of each URL. Step 7. Write a function to save each image in the dictionary destination directory. The following code that is shown in the PPT is snippet of code will save each image in the destination directory. So from this we studied about what is web scraping, how web scraping is useful, and how to install Chrome drivers, how to install Selenium and setup and tools from the and how web scraping is useful, why we use Selenium in web scraping. These are the contents that we are discussed in the PPT, so that we can know how to do web scraping using Selenium and Python. Web scraping bot using Selenium and Python. Thanks for giving this golden opportunity. I hope my PPT is good. Thanks.